Alright, so this is the Django Python powered app that I spent the night developing and which should have been started weeks ago. So there are some users already in here. There's a client user, there's also the shown user and my user. So if I log in, it's gonna take me to the home. It's loading all the data because it's connecting directly to the database. In this case, it's connecting locally, so I'm using my local um, system to connect. Um, but in order to access it via the internet, these steps that I provided need to be executed first. Here we got a dashboard example that I made. This is actual data from the database. These are all the listings that it's reading from the database, and this is why it's taking a bit to load because it's not yet optimized. And sold properties, the profit, the number of users there are currently in the system, and these are example graphics that I implemented for the client to see what is possible to do once a data cube is implemented over here. So um, that's it. We can use any of this graphic with any data that we want once we develop it. Um, we have this menu over here. We can um, log out and log in with another user, and we have the user information over here. So I integrated this because I worked on it all night, and I integrated the whole security system. And also over here we can see all the some of the fields that I use for the example for the property listings. And in this case, instead of the 8 million of this table, I loaded less for this loading that is taking a little bit of time right now, for it to not take longer than that. So it will load a table with all this information, and this table can be implemented with the metrics that we want if we choose to do that. And we'll see an example. I also could implement a full search across the fields that are loaded on the table, this table, so we can browse. I could actually work a complete search module for this, and this is the property is still loading, so we have to wait till it's uh, done loading all of the records because there are a lot, and this is not yet optimized. So here we see that we have information from property listings. We have the listing ID, the listing date. In this case, we had it null, and we also have the list price, and we have the close date, close price, and the days on market, cumulative days on market, and also this is the search that I was talking about. And I also implemented a pagination that we can use 10, 25, or 50, or 100 records per page. And we can search through the table. Okay, this is something I always like to do when working with Django apps and working with data. But the most important is this, the search, that I could get it to work with this data. Because in other projects sometimes it takes longer, and so we can browse, for example, May 1992. We have May 1992, and this is ready to be integrated with um, any feature we want, and then to use the cubes framework to implement an OLAP cube. The data is already here, and this is ready to be implemented. So closed listing will be here with all the metrics of the cube, just as in an analysis services proof of concept that I'm working in. So here we will have those metrics, and we can see the capabilities we have over here to even do graphics, and statistics, and all kinds of stuff that we can imagine. So I'm going to log out. I can log out with another user. This is the user that is intended for testing. There is also another client user for a generic user for anyone to test it. So you have your user information over here, and there it is.